Let's do this. Let's do this. Good evening. Good evening. We'll be back with another banger, another episode of We Need Each Other podcast. As y'all know, first and foremost, let me get my co-host rocking. Let's bring Killer Dale in here. What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? Here to celebrate the importance of men and the role they play in our families and our communities, and just highlight some of the people who need bigging up right now. Drum roll for my co-host really quick, Miss Killer. Yeah, what's up, ladies? How are you?
Hi.
How you feeling? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Hold up. Let me get my ring light on. That's better, right? That glow.
Yo, Killer, it's going to be a good one.
I
What's up to
feel
everybody?
it. I feel it.
Real quick,
Good
hold on. Let me
evening.
just
How
show.
we doing?
Let me
Josh,
wave
how
to
are you
everyone.
doing? How are you feeling
I'm,
today?
I got so much energy. First, let me just wave to everyone. Yeah, I'm feeling awesome. I'm feeling really, really, really awesome. I have so much energy for this particular show, but it's like great energy.
I'm really, really feeling the audience. Like, y'all just jump on immediately. That's what I'm talking about. Thanks for the
Drum
love.
roll for y'all. Word.
Like, y'all are so dope. Thank you for being here tonight. And every night with us, whenever we go live, you know, you are all really appreciated. Thank you.
Absolutely. So today, yeah, this is just going to be a celebration of the importance of men. And I'm just going to big up some of the really important people in my life. And really some of the men who had a great impact on me as a youth and even as a grown man. And we're sitting today with the president of Brotherhood Restored, one of the people who had such an impact in my early years, a brother who needs to be given his flowers. We're sitting with the president of Brotherhood Restored, Gregory Moore. We're going to have him come on a little later. But shout out to him. And shout out to everyone who's pulling up. Y'all are awesome. How are you feeling, girl?
How are you? Amazing. Feeling really great. Thankful, just grateful for life, grateful for this platform, grateful for you. You're the best co-host I could have ever asked for. I'm just really happy to be here. And I'm grateful for tonight's conversation. I think it really is needed for us, for our audience, for him, for everyone. You know, giving people their flowers, especially men. You know, having important and positive role figures in our life is key. And we need more of that.
Now, I just want to kind of just break that down. And I think sometimes people may come into people's lives as a big brother, as an uncle, as a mentor, and they're sharing stuff, and they don't really even know the impact they have. So they have young men who are maybe 12, 13, 14, grow up to be grown men. And now, like the flowers who have blossomed. And I'm just coming just to kind of pay it forward and kind of say, yo, this is definitely one of the people in my life. I don't even think he knows how much he meant to me at that point, but it was at a pivotal and critical moment in my life that this brother provided a lot of inspiration. So when it came time to just who I'm going to have to talk about this in terms of mentorship, in terms of celebration of men, it was a no-brainer for me. So I called my brother Gregory Moore. Shout out to him.
Especially because, you know, unfortunately, sometimes in our culture, we don't have father figures. You know, sometimes father are absent. So the fact that men like him have stepped up and have been a positive influence in your life, and I'm pretty sure in many other people's life as well, that's powerful. That is the definition of we all we got, you know. If he doesn't do it, I'm gonna do it. So that's dope. I'm really excited to have him.
What's dope sometimes I don't even think it's like a conscious kind of thing. I think it's just people kind of just being cool, or people kind of just being themselves. And as young men, we're kind of just looking from afar, whether through modeling, whether through something that they kind of said, and they're having just a impact without them even knowing how much impact they had. And shout out to everyone pulling up real quick. I see a bunch of people who haven't connected in a while. Manifest Your Soul, what's up? How are you, baby? I haven't seen you in a while.
I love
Frank Freedom, what's up?
Oh.
Glow Niece,
so
what's
Josh,
up? How are you?
I know that he's been a huge positive impact in your life, but can you think of anyone else? Like maybe a brother, father, grandfather.
Most definitely. And like I said, there's a lot of people who didn't even know that they were such impact on my life. Shout out to my grandfather. That's first. He definitely knew how much impact he had. rest in peace to him. My grandfather, oh man, in terms of just that hard-working work ethic, seeing that man take care of his wife. You know, my grandfather, seeing him just his whole spirit, his whole demeanor. I'm his namesake. His name was Ernest. So when you see Ernest Josh on Facebook, that's to him. That's me embracing that side of me. So my grandfather was awesome. So when you see me, the humbleness, the cool, calm, and collective, that's Ernest right there. That's Ernest. So shout out to him. Rest in peace.
That's dope.
Real quick, just shout out some dope men in your life real quick. Throw it out there.
I can relate. I grew up in a single parent household with just my mom and my grandparents. So my grandfather was, until this day, he passed away in 2008, but till this day, he is the definition of a real man.
Say that.
That not only that he provided for us, our immediate family, but he literally paved the way for all of our family. Because of him, all of our family was able to come to New York and have a great life. He was just so strong, you know. Whenever I think about my grandfather, I think about someone who's unstoppable and just a provider and just so real and genuine. And I think about him every single day. I mention him in my prayers every single day. He really was the #1 man in my life, for sure.
Yeah.
And I also
it's important to say his name. What's your grandfather's name?
Jose. His name was Jose Antonio. But everyone used to call him by his last name, Mangual. So we used to say Abuelo Mangual, Grandpa Mangual. So yeah, he was
Abuela Mangual.
Abuelo. And I also have an older brother. You know, my older brother has taught me so much about life. So shout out to him. You know, I feel like everyone needs an older brother. If you don't, go find one, because they really are an important role in our life, for sure.
Yeah. So real quick question for you. When you just think about men, word association, real quick, what's the first word that comes to your mind when you just think about men?
Before I answer that, let me just say, when that word comes to mind, I think about situations and experiences that I have had with men. So there's mixed emotions and mixed feelings associated to that word. But the first one to mind is provider. Like, I feel like, not to put, you know, the pressure on a man, but that's the first word that comes to mind. You're a provider. You provide for me mentally, physically, emotionally, just be in my safe space. And hopefully every man can grow up and be a provider, a positive provider.
Amen. When I think of men, first word, security. Like, from a real standpoint, like when you think of a security guard, I think of a man, like he's the security, he's the bouncer. Security, as in just providing that security in the home, just being the one to secure, whether in different aspects. I'm learning about the word, what it truly means to me in terms of what emotionally secure, financially secure, and kind of learning how to inhibit in myself so I can be that security for others. So that's the word I think about, security.
But plot twist real quick. Let me plot twist, because we are
talk about it.
Two special women in our life who have started the bond of our family. So real quick, when you think about the word woman, what comes to mind?
Oh, matriarch, I think. And I'm glad you kind of really got me on that train of thought. It would be remiss of us to celebrate all these men in our lives without celebrating who they come from, you know? And today is the oldest living relative in my family, which is my great aunt. It's her birthday today. So I would definitely be remiss of celebrating all these men without talking about the one who is at the top. She goes by the name Carmen Thompson. We affectionately call her Aunt Tiny. And today is her 91st birthday. So definitely we got to give it up to where we all come from. And all us men owe a great deal of gratitude to these women in our lives. So yes, when I think of women, also I think of matriarch. So shout out to my Aunt Tiny.
Happy birthday to her. And also, part of my foundation, my grandmother in Dominican Republic, she just turned 86 years old. And I'm so glad for her life. You know, she's part of the reason why we're here. You know, we all come from that special woman that's at the top, and we all just make our way in. So shout out to my mother. Shout out to your aunt. Happy birthday.
So my uncle what happened was he's actually my great uncle. Whenever it's his birthday, a lot of times we flood his Facebook page. We're like, happy birthday, Uncle Solomon, happy birthday, happy birthday. And he's so humble. He says, you know, he says like, it's my mom's birthday, or it's because of my mom. Like, he's so humble. Like, instead of taking it in, he's saying, okay, yes, I was born on this day, but I didn't do anything on this day. My mom actually, you know,
those 9 months, and then actually put you up, brought you into this world. So shout out to our moms for sure.
Shout out to our moms, yeah. So my uncle I always remember that. So we were like, happy birthday, Uncle, happy birthday, Uncle, happy birthday. He says, no, it's my mom's birthday. It's like, I mean, it's because of her. So it's definitely, it kind of goes hand in hand.
For sure, I agree with that one.
Yeah. So check, to kind of set the plate for this conversation, I was taking a nap earlier, right? And I was listening to some audiobooks. That's what I do when I'm going to go to sleep. And there was this, The Power of Awareness. Neville Goddard, Goddard, right? The Power of Awareness.
Look that up, right?
Absolutely dope. So it was talking about just like consciousness and just being aware of something. So it was talking about the word like I am. Whenever you attach I am to a statement, you're identifying with that. You're saying I am smart, I am beautiful, I am intelligent. But it also goes both ways in terms of when someone says I am a gangster, or I am stupid, I am dumb. So we're just identifying that. And my thought process went in terms of that's what mentors are for you. They're kind of creating that version of something that you can identify with. They're helping you with who you become. So when my uncle passed away, I said, I am John. I am John. And I really inhibited him. So when you see someone who is cool or someone who is articulate, you say, yo, I am cool. I am Greg. I am this, I am that. And that's how mentorship starts, where literally our subconscious identifies with the person and we literally want to be like them. And a lot of times it's not even our words. It's not our words or their words sometimes. It's sometimes men doing a certain kind of thing and we just kind of want to be like them.
Yeah, their actions. It's like when you have a positive influence that is a information. You want to think like following their, not so like you want to follow in.
Hold on, yo, girl, we gonna get your internet correct. We're gonna get your internet correct. Hold on, let's get it right now. Let's get it right now. Make sure your Wi-Fi is correct. They need to hear all this.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Okay, it was just a little choppy on your end, but I just want to make sure that people hear it. Thumbs up real quick in the chat if you hear us. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up.
Can you guys hear us?
I can hear you. As long as I can hear you, that's cool.
Oh, as long as you could hear me, not our audience.
No, I'm talking about in terms of your visuals a little off, but your words are coming through, so that's what's important.
Let's see. Okay, I can hear you.
Cool.
What about now?
But just awesome, you're good. But kind of just piggyback over that. Yes, modeling. Absolutely. So important. A quick story that I often tell. Yeah, shout out to everybody come in. Tish, mwah, mwah, mwah. Yo, much love, yo. People. All right, so real quick, before I bring Greg up, a quick story I often tell was my mom, when I was younger, she had a boyfriend, right? She had a boyfriend, and my mom's boyfriend would Kayla is breaking. I think you're good now. You was breaking up a little bit.
Clear now. I'm good. Now. Okay.
All right. So real quick, because I want to get the story out before I bring my brother in. My mom had a boyfriend, right? And I thought he was like really cool, right? Now I must have been like maybe 11, 12 years old, and he used to go up to my mom when he used to kiss her. He would softly kiss on her cheek. He would go up to my mom. And he would go right on her cheek. I used to just watch. Right. So best believe when I went to school that next morning, you know what I did? I went to my girlfriend and I was like,
yo, that is a novela kiss, okay? That is, you only see that in novelas and in movies. What are you watching?
That was, but it was modeling. Like he told me, he said I was a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. And you know, when I went to school, you know what I said? I'm a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. No, that's true. That's the power of like modeling, how important it is. And at such a pivotal age, people provide these examples and we just kind of want to be like him. So I say all that to say, at that pivotal point in my life, I don't 100% know when I met my brother Greg, but I was probably around 12, 13. It was in that pivotal age with just seeing not only manhood, but a positive man, a cool dude. It really left an impact, and I don't know how much he knows it. So this is my chance to give him flowers. So we're going to
bring him
let's bring him in without further ado.
This show is for him. Bring him in.
You just sent the invite. When you come in, we're gonna give him a drum roll. But yeah, I think people they need to hear that. Like sometimes, like I said,
someone said at 11, right? At 11.
At 11, I went. That was my first girlfriend. I said
at 11.
I went up to her. I swear, Monday morning, I was like, her name is Kathy.
You couldn't
Catherine
wait.
De Jesus.
Oh, hey, you couldn't wait.
How are you? I think I winked my eye. I was like, how you doing?
I can't.
So real quick, I'm gonna send that invite one more time.
He's on. I see him on.
Oh, he's probably in that waiting room. I'm sorry, I didn't. No requests. Real quick, Greg, let's get him on.
I'm in the chat.
Invited. Greg, when you see that invite, just go in and uno mas. Hold on, let me. Gregory Moore invite. My brother, when you see it, just click the bottom of your screen. I think you just press accept. We're gonna keep going until we get him in here. But yeah, so at that time when I had met my brother Greg, it was a pivotal point in my life, and just seeing, like, I was a sponge. I was just a sponge, just soaking up everything. And sometimes we're just looking for manhood everywhere. We're just looking, how does it look? How do men hold their hands? How do they talk?
Talk, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
mannerisms.
People don't even realize that like you said, children are sponges, and they're watching our every move, everything we say, we do, how we speak, how we walk, how we dress. It's imperative to have positive role models in a child's life, and a teenager, and as an adult too. You as adults.
Men hold the hands. Oh, hold on, my brother. You came in too quick. Hold on, real quick. Yo, we gonna give a big shout out, big drum roll for when I was younger. One of the dudes I looked up to in the most beautiful way. I don't think he even knew how cool he was at the time. I don't know if it was intentional on his behalf, but literally just from a position of modeling, position of just some of the words he kind of said. I just want to give you your flowers and welcome to the room, the president of Brotherhood Restored, B. Gregory Moore!
What up, my man? Hello, my sister. How are you?
Good evening. I'm doing well. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. I had an issue with my computer. I thought I could just do it from my computer, but there seems to be a challenge with Instagram and Apple's. So I'm on my phone. So I had the light on and everything. I got my makeup done tonight and everything, but sorry.
Buddy.
Yo, brother.
That was important. Thank you for joining us.
You're here.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be on here, and I'm glad I met you at 12, which is the year after you started kissing women on the cheek. So
no,
I don't have to take no blame for that.
He needed to meet you at 11.
Yes.
Yo, but what it was that was what was presented to me. So we literally see it, we think it looks cool, and we like, yo, we're gonna try it.
I'm glad you made it out okay after that, man, because that could have went another way. So I'm glad it worked out at 11. I'm really glad.
God bless. God bless my brother.
Yes, sir.
So real quick, Greg, yo, you're doing some amazing things in the community. That's first and foremost. I have people who are telling me they're connected to you that are connected to me. So I didn't know the connections. People are tapping into me saying, yo, he got my, one person in particular said he got my husband a job. And I wish I knew her name so I could make that connection.
Oh, you must be talking about Kiana.
I believe that's her name. I don't know her personal. It was a friend of a friend who told me that you did so. That's how deep it goes. I was like, yeah.
That's how.
Yo, that's crazy.
That's deep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's deep.
And funny enough, I think Reg is on here. Reg, ask if you still here, bro. Ask your wife if she shared that.
Yes, that's her. Because I remember his name is Reg.
What?
Yes, his name is Reg. So his wife is a friend of a friend of mine, and when I had shared the flyer, she was like, I know him.
That's dope.
So that's a testament to you, brother. How like deep your roots go. Like it's 6 degrees of separation. That's shout out to you, my brother.
Wow, man. Wow. That's Reggie's here too, man. Yo, that is
shout out.
See, that's why you can't be doing dirt. You never know when it comes back. He said it's Jennifer.
Jennifer, yes, yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Jen.
Wow.
Jen, I see.
Dag, man. Wow. Wow, that's crazy.
Nah, that's a testament to you, to the consistency, to you just being who you are.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
Real quick, I want to give you an opportunity to talk about the work you're doing and talk about your program, Brotherhood Restored.
Yes, sir.
I know you guys doing a lot. Just tell us about it, please.
Awesome, man. Well, I have a full-time job with an organization called Young Life, and Young Life is a faith-based organization that works to introduce adolescents to Jesus Christ and help them grow in their faith. And so this was a job I took on 9 years ago. And one of the things that we do, we engage with schools. Now, being from New York, you know, it's a challenge being from church or any spiritual anything, regardless of what you want to go into school and do. It's hard to do because you represent a faith. And so I just remember coming up in school, I didn't have many male Black teachers that I wanted to be like. And so I said, you know, it would be amazing if churches that had men that would be willing to give their time to come into these schools and be examples, because there's still a really deep deficit of Black males that are in the school system.
Right.
And I said, man, well, this would be a great way to kind of, you know, fill in that gap. And if it was just 2 hours a week or 2 hours a month, like we could really close the gap in that. And that would give me an opportunity to be in the school. But it was hard to do that leading with Young Life as the storefront. So after seeing the need and the few opportunities that I had, especially at Harlem Village Academy in Harlem, to see young men empowered, being able to talk about masculinity and having older men in their lives, I said, man, this needs to really happen in more places. And so I began with a friend of mine whose name is Khalil, and we chatted, we talked, and we talked from this idea of Brotherhood Restored. And through Brotherhood Restored, and because it's not a Christian organization, it allows us to have conversations with any school, and they don't have to feel the fear of the whole spiritual thing. You know, I would never walk into a school with a Bible cracked open and trying to preach to kids. I didn't do that with you, and we was in church together. So that's not my model. But because of the brand of the church, unfortunately, it hurts us. So starting this organization was something that allowed us to show up in places and in schools and to be able to impact young men. And so presently we are at Bronx Prep up on Bronxwood Avenue. We have done work with Harlem Village Academy, Democracy Prep, Bronx Prep, and this was before the pandemic. Then once the pandemic hit, everybody got a reset. So so yeah, that is the work that I do through this organization. And what it gives me the opportunity to do is to present my faith in a way that I don't have to wear it as a badge. My masculine example is Jesus. And not the fairy white Jesus on the cross. That's nice. Jesus was one of the most gangster dudes you will ever know. It's like really, really gangster. And one of the things I love about him is the opportunities and dignity he gave to women. Right? Like that's how gangster he was that, yo, I'm going to front on this masculine society, and I'm going to give women places to speak. I'm going to go out of my way and bless women. I'm going to talk to women. I'm going to heal women. And he just went against the grain. And I feel like that's the Jesus people need to meet, even if they never know that's him by name. My name is not Jesus, it's Greg, but you're going to meet Jesus through me, even if I never say that. And using him as our model, it gives more joy to the work that I get to do.
Woo! Yo, powerful. Yo, that's one of the beautiful things. Yeah. First, you're able to minister and make it look cool. You know what I mean? That's what you just did. You just ministered to us in the most cool way, yo.
Oh, man.
Yo,
thank you.
Wow.
Quick question. Yo, did you know at the time, you probably couldn't possibly know, but when I was 11, 12, that there were people looking up to you, did you know that there were going to be people who wanted to be like you? Like, what was your cool, very intentional?
So, forgive me for a moment for being a little bit fleshly, but I was raised in Harlem.
Okay.
Right. So that made my cool is a nice Harlem thing. I gotta claim that. And the beautiful thing is that I was able to sharpen it at John F. Kennedy High School, where I got to, feel it out there already. So, I wasn't trying to be cool. I was really being my environment. One of the things I said when I gave my life to Jesus at 16 was that I didn't want to become weird, man. I still love Biggie Smalls. I still wanted to play basketball, and I still wanted to love Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And thankfully, the Lord was good in that he has surrounded me with a lot of guys that felt the same way. Like my man, Coach Lenny, that's on the line with us. Like there was dudes that's like, yo, I love Jesus, but I'm still going to play basketball and I'm going to still be me. And so it wasn't me trying. It was just really me doing me. And one of the craziest things, yo, I was directing the choir at church, bro. Facts. Right? And we know the stigmatism that goes with directing choirs as a man. Right? And so I was able to do that and still be one of the best basketball players in the church. Like that was beautiful to me because I was able to live out the fullness of what our masculinity should be. Yes, I like choirs. Yes, I love choir music. I love Kirk Franklin. I love to play basketball. I love Biggie Smalls. You know what I'm saying? Snoop Dogg almost made me a drug dealer because that album came at a crucial time in my life of me trying to find myself. So I needed to be able to live out all of those elements of my life and live my truth. And so it wasn't me trying. And if you told me like some of the kids on the choir would model themselves after me, I would understand that. Someone like you, I am blown away. Up until us having recent conversations, I had absolutely no idea of what you were looking up to or what you were looking at. And that really makes me emotional, bro. Like that's wow. Because again, you was quiet. Like seeing you on this platform is crazy because you was one of the most reserved dudes in the church. So for you to be this open and doing all this on social media and stuff like that and using this platform to better people is great. And to think that I had 2 minutes worth of influence on that, man, that warms my heart, man. It gives me something to be thankful for this Thanksgiving, man. Thank you, Brown.
Yo. Real quick, my mom says what's up. She sends her love, man.
What's up? I'm coming to Atlanta soon.
You heard that, mama? He said, real quick, come people real quick. Just say what's up.
Hey, sis.
Hey, how are you, Brother Greg?
I'm good. Come on. Is this the first time Mom came on a show?
Yes. Look, you bringing them out. Look.
That's what I'll be known for.
Bringing them out. Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Bless you, sir. Hi, ma'am. How you doing, my dear?
Hi, how are you?
I want to meet her as well. Okay, but I'm going to let y'all go on and do what you got to do. But, Brother Greg, you have a special place in my heart. I thank you so much. I really do. I thank you for what you do, even for the community. But how you touch the lives of not just this one, but my other one, too. Yeah. A great example. A great example. And I...
Say that.
Thank you so much.
Say that.
I bow down to you and just say thank you so very much. Keep up the good work. I appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am. Love you so
much. Love you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
Yo, Greg, yo, everyone loves you, bro.
Yo, I got a little nervous when she started throwing the kisses. I'm like, I hope you didn't get a flashback when she threw the kisses. And I'm let it go. I'm let it go. All right, come on. Focus.
Real quick. I have a question for you, Greg. Real quick.
Okay.
So, who's the first person comes to mind? Who was your role model growing up, and who you feel like
my grandfather?
For Grandpa.
My grandfather, Norman Cecil Bowie. That was my guy. I didn't have a man in my house. I knew of my dad, and I would see him every once in a while. But he wasn't a present, person. And we have a great relationship now. Love my dad. That's just a whole nother story. So we good money. But he is Jamaican, and he had a different code as it pertained to making kids and staying around, which he'll say himself. So he was, he was a little busy. But my grandfather was my hero, man. He always etched in my mind this idea of respect. And he was he was the calmest person. Like I don't remember him raising his voice many times at all. But he was a very stand-up person. Like, I knew I could trust him. People had respect for him. He worked in the community. Like, I'm bugged out at how I'm not trying to be like him, but it's interesting how I am like him. He meant everything to me as far as it pertains to masculinity, and helped to offset a lot of the toxic examples that was around in Harlem in the 90s. When I think about masculinity, I think about him, and then all of the other men that I had at church during my formative years that were just there. Reverend Alfred Austin, Deacon Dixon, Deacon Williams, Deacon Collins. They were just a bunch of men that I had in my church community that helped to shape me. And then I got to shout out a lot of the dudes from around the block. And a lot of them were not necessarily, guys that didn't practice crime and things of that nature. But they had enough heart to say, this is what we do. You're not going to do that. And they kept me in the right ways. And sometimes them slapping me upside the head kept the police from shooting me and things of that nature. So I think about that community after my grandfather, of all the men that had influences on how I started my male journey.
Powerful. That's powerful.
I was gonna lead to my next question. In terms of like that sense of morality that you kind of had, I was gonna ask, was that something that was instilled in you very young, or did it come later on? Like, where did that sense of morality really come from?
Yeah, I think it came young, and I think it had a lot to do with my mom. And what I don't know how intentional it was. It was just what I chose to do. So I want to say my mom, and I want to say God. Like, I think with some people, and in some ways, some of us can't afford to be too immoral. Some of us won't survive. Like, I know if I was introduced to some things too early in my life, I wouldn't have made it back. I would not have been okay. Like, something would have I'd have been too far gone. And so I think having some morals coming up, and maybe in an unhealthy way, me being like the most consistent man in my mom's life, and having another man there, it kind of taught me that I kind of had to be the man of the house. And I think with that model, if I'm following my grandfather, was to be more honest, was to be more responsible. And there may have been some dark sides to that and some shadow sides to that, but I think it came that way. I had to be the man in my mom's life if I didn't even think about it that deeply then. And that told me I didn't have a lot of room to just be crazy, to be stupid, and to make too many mistakes. Now, there was a lot of pressure that came with that as well on the shadow side, but yeah, I think it would be that.
That's real. That's dope. That's dope. And even I noticed you mentioned spirituality a lot, and I'm sure that's played an important role. Like, in terms of your marriage, in terms of the way you raise a child? Like, how important is that for you, and how do you like intertwine those two?
Man, like I said, Jesus to me is the perfect example of comprehensive masculinity. The term comprehensive masculinity comes from the writings of one of my favorite books on masculinity from Jason Wilson, called Cry Like a Man. And he speaks about men being free from emotional incarceration. And when I didn't have the terminology to use when I was younger, but when I think about Jesus, he's a very comprehensive man. He's gone from flipping over tables in the tabernacle to crying at his friend's side when he died. Even though he knew he would raise him from the dead, Jesus still took a moment to cry. Like, I think that's crazy, right? Like, if my best friend dies, but I know I'm going to raise him from the dead, why would I cry? Right. But I think Jesus modeled that crying for us because he was fully comprehensive, that he knew how to use the full tool belt of his emotions. Was a healthy example of what masculinity is. I'm strong enough to raise you from the dead, but I'm man enough to cry the fact that it hurts that you died as well. So he felt hurt and he exercised power. And to me, that's my model. And I don't have the mastery of it down yet, but I'm trying to learn to live in the tension of my pain and my power. And I think that's the crucible from which real masculinity can be lived. And learning that is where I think you understand, like, Jesus is it. Jesus is that model. Wow. So for me, that's what that means to me.
I love how spirituality is such a huge part of you and your life. So thinking back, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of what is the biggest leap of faith you have taken so far?
Oh man,
good question.
One, I hope I haven't taken it yet. The first one, I hope I haven't taken it yet. I would say this. So I have accepted a job in Chicago. So January 1st, I start a new job in Chicago. For 47 years, I've been in New York.
Wow.
And I am just starting to process that, my mom is not going to be like 30 minutes away from me. And the mama boy in me is really trying to process that. So stepping into this, I would say presently is the biggest step of faith I've ever taken. Going to the Midwest, going to Chicago as a Knicks fan, because I'm not going to change that.
Right.
To work with kids and adults out there, amidst of all the negative news we get about Chicago, and to think that the Lord is calling me to go there. To date, I would say that is the biggest leap of faith that I'm doing with my wife and I.
Congrats.
But I hope I hope there's a bigger leap to come.
Say that. The irony of that, like I said, the stigma that's surrounding Chicago. Brother, they need you. Like, in terms of someone like you that's powerful like that, the place that is, I don't want to call it the belly of the beast, but just all the negative things that come with just being Chicago, they need that light. So, like I said, God is calling to that. That's shout out to you for accepting the assignment, bro.
Thank y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, I got one. Just when I associate manhood, I'll often think about the husband, and from afar, just modeling. I've watched the relationship with you and your wife. I love your wife. I love how you interact. It was always something that I really modeled after as a healthy relationship. Who taught you about the intimacy with women, or how to become a husband? Was that something that was taught, or did you kind of learn as you went along?
Unfortunately for her, I learned it as I moved along. I didn't have an example for that. I am saddened that our interaction with women is being informed, one, by a society that doesn't know how to care and love Black men. And then the Black men who are giving us these cues are hurt little boys. And so when our first education on sexuality is coming from a porno, that really sets a bad example of what treating women should be like. I would say I bumped my head a lot, and I've made mistakes, and you know, the Lord has been with us. One of the leaps of faith that I had to take at the time was marrying my wife, and we didn't know what the future was. You know what I'm saying? And it took both of us to make us. And the fact that we had God as our centerpiece, we always knew where we would come back to kind of reset ourselves through a lot of the many difficult things that we had to go through. So I've learned through the word. I've had a few older men who had relationships and things of that nature that I've had the opportunity to talk to through the years. There's a man that I hold dear to my heart. His name is Stephen Grant. And he actually, you know, during our friendship, he lost his wife. And just seeing how he modeled care and love, and even seeing him mourn that was something that helped me to learn how to be better in this walk of loving my wife. And one of the biggest things and hardest things that I think I'm navigating now is unlearning a lot of the cues that I learned coming up from movies, unfortunately from hip hop, that's extremely toxic. And just trying to relearn what masculinity is like, especially entering my middle ages. So yeah, I think it's trial and error and my wife's grace along the way.
Fire. Yeah, these conversations that need to be happening. That was the premise for this podcast, and we need each other. We need each other from of just perspective, of just sitting back and just kind of learning. So these conversations about marriage and spirituality and modeling, and just being honest with our flaws and our wins and everything. So
thank you.
Dope.
Quick question.
Miss Kelly, you know I can go. Go ahead, girl.
Quick question. So, like Josh mentioned, you know, the name of our podcast is We Need Each Other, because we really do. And oftentimes society tries to pin us against each other, and we go along with it, unfortunately. So what's one thing that you can think of that you lack in, but your wife has, and vice versa, and why we need each other?
Great question. One of the things, when I allow her, my wife softens me. As an only child and as a man of color coming up in this society, I've learned to be tough. But my toughness is more out of fear, right? So I parented out of fear. I got married out of fear. And I think the Lord surrounded me with my wife and 2 daughters to help soften my rough edges. So she softens me. She helps to offset some of those sharp, rough edges. My wife prays, son. Like she gets it in with God, man. Like she gets it in. She gets it in with God. Like she gets it in, and the way she prays for me and my family is definitely one of the pillars of security that I have in my life. And you know, I'll do more with my hands, and I'm ready to work and do things, but she's the one who prays and makes sure that God is in the midst of it. And this move to Chicago is an example of that. If she wasn't feeling it, it would be very different in regards to how we would move. But because she was good with it, I'm like, okay, we good. If she good, then we good. You know what I'm saying? So
Beautiful.
she's really been she's been a partner. And the Bible says, you know, when God created Eve, that helper or creating the helper wasn't like a subordinate.
Mm-hmm.
It was something like the Bible didn't say that. The Lord said that man was lonely, so he needed to give him someone he could rule. That's not what he said. He said a helpmeet, a suitable helpmeet, someone that can work along with you. And so yeah, that's what God gave me. And I'm grateful for that.
Shut up.
That is
real quick, I'm sorry. Real quick, just shout out to everyone who's pulling up to the chat. Yo, I'm waving and show love to all y'all. Yo, thanks for being a part. This is dope. But go ahead, girl. You have something else? Go ahead.
no, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. And shout out to your wife.
She's out. She's here.
Shout out to Tish, right?
She's here.
Yo, real quick.
She's upstairs with our grandson, so get.
So just giving her flowers too. She has a morning prayer. I'm not sure if it's on Wednesdays, but Wednesday mornings. Oftentimes I wake up early in the morning. That's the first thing I see on Facebook. I hit that while the lights is off. I hit that play, and I just be someone that just prays for the world, and that's one of the most intimate, beautiful things. So shout out to Tish. Shout out to your wife, Tish. Amen.
Thank you. She's upstairs being a grandma right now.
Dope.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations. My mom said congratulations. She put the hat to the back. He was like, I'm cool, granddad. I mean, throw the hat.
By the way, Brotherhood Restored hat.
Brotherhood, and the website, brotherhoodrestored.org.
Yes.
Okay.
Brotherhoodrestored.org. Please visit, check it out. If you're out of school and you think we could come in, holla at me.
Let me see if I can get that in the chat real quick. Yo, I say that a lot. Like I'm rushing. I'm like real quick.
He's always on real quick time.
But so
don't have a please.
The question. Out of all of the people you have mentored, and I'm sure there's so many people intentionally you have done it, sometimes unintentionally. Who is one of your mentees or the people you've looked up to that you're most proud of? And I know there could be a bunch. I don't know if they're on this live, but just someone you want to give a shout out to, someone who's just really proud of their progression and someone you've seen them progress.
Somebody said that's not fair.
That's what mom. He heard you.
I'm gonna say, man, there's a few, but for the moment, I would say Reggie. I would say Reggie Ousley, Minister Reggie Ousley. This work of mentoring, most of the times people get into it because they want to be for others what they didn't have themselves. Reg is a church dude like me. Reg met me when we were playing basketball against some other dudes, and he says he didn't like me because we cheated. I don't recollect that. I don't know how true that is, but you know, it is what it is. And then later on, you know, we started talking about how do we, you know, during the pandemic, how do we still reach out to young men and use basketball as a way to reach them? And he joined my team, and we did it. What I seen through Reg was me. I saw me being the dude that came up in church and it was like, yo, I love Jesus, but I'm not trying to be this churchy dude. I'm still gonna play basketball. I'm not walking around with a big old Bible in my hand, just being weird. Like I'm not doing that. But the elements of the church I love as well. And so, Lenny, come on, son. Don't be saying I'm always cheating. That's not cool. Okay, let me focus. These church dudes, man. You see what I'm saying? Anyway. But I see, you know, Reggie has been rocking with me, and as I start to grieve a little bit at the fact that I'm going to be leaving New York, the joys that I have is that I'm leaving a guy like Reggie behind, that he's going to be here doing the work, you know what I'm saying, now that he has a job with us. And so I would say for right now, it would be him. It would be him, the fact that he's moving into this role and he gets to start at a time, you know, younger than when I was starting this work, and he gets to live out the dream of reaching out to people and young people using basketball as a tool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have never thought I could do that. And so now that I've done it, I want to bring as many on as possible that can come on and do that. So
shout out to Red. Shout out.
Shout out to him. I love how you mentioned, you know, I love Jesus, but I still want to play basketball. I love basketball. I love Biggie and rap. Because I think a lot of people are confused and they feel like, oh, it's either God or this other thing that I absolutely love. And you can really balance it out. God, at the end of the day, God wants us to be happy. He created these things for us to enjoy. So I really love how you're so real and open and honest about that. We need more people.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, the funny thing is what is modeled. When Jesus comes to the earth, he doesn't come as a king. He doesn't come as a politician. Yo, he came to the hood. Bethlehem was the hood. Bethlehem was the Bronx of Jerusalem, of, you know, that region. He moves in. He's born amongst animals. Like, he models the idea of being where people are. And he came up as a carpenter. The God of the universe chose to be a carpenter to save the world. What is he like? What is he communicating in that? And so that's the way he modeled. Like, the culture is the culture. And God modeled that I can come into the culture and bring about salvation and love. And that's what he wants us to model.
For sure.
He wants us to model that. And he learns how to do it without allowing the culture to change him, because he was still God and still man at the same time. And that's the mystery of it all, right? Because in our minds, we can't fathom, how does God become God and man all at the same time? Like, we can't conceptualize that. And guess what? Because he's God, I'm glad we can't, because if we could figure it out, he wouldn't be God.
Exactly.
So let's try to model that the best way we can. And so that's what I've learned to do. And, you know, just being real, like, I wasn't giving that up. One of my big brothers is on here, T. Berry. He's like the mayor of our block. He's like the uncle of the block. And these were guys that I wanted to be like, and I wanted to respect, and that taught me my cues. I didn't feel like I had to give that up. Because what if one of them needed me to share that message? And I'm gonna now stay away from them? What if they need the message? You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Woo.
That's powerful.
That's fine. The fact that we're talking about modeling, and you're saying the greatest model is being Jesus Christ for you, that all ties into everything, to mentorship and how we just learn how to just be. That's super duper fire. I want to share something with you of how this conversation actually came together. I had you in mind, right? We have a spreadsheet where we schedule the people who we want to be on the podcast. And before I actually spoke to you, I put your name down and I wrote it, and I put the topic and I put the date. And then I was in a call with my mom, and I was like, you know, I really want Greg to be a part of this. I think he has something. Of course, my mom's like, yeah, perfect. I kid you not, within an hour, you sent me the message to Facebook, just kind of saying, yo, King, I love what you're doing. And I kid you not, is this not correct? We was on our way to.
Yeah, I have to confirm. That was so true. It was scary.
Wow.
It was real scary. That was a confirmation right there.
Wow.
Write it down, make it plain. I put it in my conversation, and literally, so without me having to reach out, you just kind of was like, yo, I love what you're doing, King, and you just offered your support also. And so it just kind of came, it was divine. So it's important for me to share that, and that's how it works when you're kind of just doing the work.
Yeah, man. That's amazing.
Magic.
Yo.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all keep doing it.
Amen. I dropped a book that do you remember the book name I said? I want to kind of just rehash that. You said tag. I don't. So the question was, just give me one book that has helped you on your development throughout your years. One book that you could just leave us with that we all should just run out and kind of get in terms of making us better.
Okay. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna look just a little bit. The first one Cry Like a Man.
Screenshot that.
Coming.
That's the one you said.
Every man in your life needs to read this. Every man in your life. If the dog is a male, read this to the dog. Like, every male needs to read this book, Cry Like a Man.
By Jason Wilson.
That Jason Wilson. This book changed my life, and what it did, it gave language to a lot of things that I felt. The idea of emotional incarceration, like, yes, like that speaks to everything regarding male toxic masculinity. Is that we have a bunch of feelings that we trap and don't know how to let out. And my honorable mention would have to be Between the World and Me.
Okay, screenshot that. Yeah.
These books are great, and this speaks well about just his come up as a young man in the 90s. So I kind of appreciated it, and it was just a great memoir. Outside of that, the Bible, bro. The Bible has been
throw it out there.
Everything to me. I don't consider it a book though. It's the words of God, and the voice that speaks to me may speak differently to you, even though we're reading the same pages. But that is it. And my model is the first Psalm. The first Psalm is like what I kind of run my life by. And it says, like, blessed is a man who walks not according to the flesh. And it just gives like this great outline of what a blessed man is. And that has been my model.
Yo, you making spirituality so cool right now, yo. Like, seriously, all jokes aside, in terms of that talk and introducing people to it, even for me, encouraging me to kind of get in the word a little more, understand what does it mean when they say to be Christ-like. You know, I have an idea of what that kind of means, but really diving into to kind of get that. So thank you for that.
No problem.
A quick question in the chat. Can young men ages 12 to 18 read either books?
Yes. And if they don't like reading, then get the audio.
Okay, perfect.
So,
yo,
we got to get them back in there real quick because I want to
have one more question.
Hold on, let me send that invite one more time. Yo.
Yes, anyone can read it.
Greatest episode ever. Did I not say it?
And so,
yeah, we were gonna send that invite again to bring it back in so we can just.
Sorry, I'm back. Yes,
it's cool, bro.
Back. I had one more question for you.
Okay.
So, you know, often as a woman, oftentimes I speak to other women and I hear their experience in motherhood, but I want to hear from you and the male perspective. How has fatherhood changed you or mold you into a better man?
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why that question is crazy. All right, so the question is, how has being a father changed me as a man? I think I've learned better later in my life. I think through my daughters is where I learned just how my intentions were different from my impact. When I say that, I wanted to raise my daughters to be independent and have no need of men because I was fathering from a place of fear because, and I can't talk the way I want to talk, but I didn't want no dude to have any type of control over them. I wanted them to have their own money. I wanted them to have their emotions in check and all that. Now, because I did this from a space of fear, my intentions were received like I was being controlling. And I can tell that by the way I could see how they respond against my attempts. Weren't really disrespectful. They weren't necessarily ugly. They never, you know, my daughters love me. They respect me. But they couldn't receive the intention of what I was trying to show them because it was filled with so much fear. And so what they've taught me, which has not only made me a better man, but has made me a better supervisor, it has made me a better friend. It has made me a better husband, is that I learned to read the room much better. And I learned to check myself to see, am I reacting out of fear or is this out of love? Because the two are very closely related.
Absolutely.
Fear and love are very related. The only difference is one requires vulnerability and the other requires defensiveness. But they're very closely related. And you can hide defensiveness and so they have taught me to be a better man by learning how to operate more from love and not so much from fear. Because fear is a sneaky something, man. It really is fearful. Fearful is really poisonous. It's really toxic.
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah, I love how you not only being vulnerable, which is just honest. It's not about representing perfection or trying to put up the biggest front. It's talking about your flaws. That's something as a man I can say, yo, that's important. I tip my hat to that. One thing was very important to say. First, I wanted to kind of open up, and I kind of forgot. I wanted to first open up by saying, I love you, brother. I love you.
Man,
I love you. And at the time when I was introduced to you, at that time, 12, 13, whatever year that was, you made it cool to say I love you. As a man. And, growing up, it's kind of taboo to even openly. We say things like, I love you, bro. We kind of shorten it without But you guys and some other brothers in the church, definitely honorable mention to David Brandon, Danny Ford, two brothers. I want to say rest in peace to them. But in just embracing me with like real hugs and saying I love you. You know what I mean? And not it was nothing. It was nothing funny about it. It just was a full embrace.
Yes, sir.
And that's a way that I felt comfortable in learning how to say that to other men. I love you. Yeah. I love you. And you definitely had a big part to that. So that's, again, giving you flowers. And I thank you for that. And I'm going to say I love you once again, bro.
I love you too, man. I so appreciate that. I appreciate this. And it's funny that sis you were asking about, sisters are always asking you, about raising boys and this, that, and other. My wife would tell you this, like about a month ago, I thought of trying to start a podcast or something of that nature that would be geared toward moms who are raising boys. And I was going to call it Dear Mama from the Tupac song, because, that ode that he had to his mom, was the very same thing that I'm like, we often say, hey, you need a man in his life, this and the third. And the truth of the matter is that sometimes that man is not going to show up. So what if there was a voice or something that men could actually help speak to moms that are raising boys, especially those that don't have men in their life? Like how can we help them? So I think the Lord just used you to remind me more of that with that question. So thank you for asking that.
Absolutely. 1,000%.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, this was beautiful.
And also one thing I always got more, at a critical point in my life too. At a critical point in my life, at a time when my father's presence wasn't really there, and then my uncle, which was my mom's brother, which was the father figure for me, or the person that was at motivation. He passed when I was about 14, and that was around that time that I was really tapping in. And I remember the church going on a beautiful retreat where they took all the young dudes out, and you was kind of there. It was just dope. So it was a pivotal point in my life, just being introduced to such beautiful masculinity and beautiful people. And like I said, shout out those two brothers. I'm not saying this because they went on, but
I know
Danny Ford and David Brandon. Dave used to just pull up on me and come to the crib and come check me. So, and y'all were all example of cool, all example of love, all example of masculinity, all example of just genuine brotherhood, man.
Thank you, man. Was that the one where we sprayed the fire extinguisher?
Yeah, all I remember, Josh was there, Daquan was there, So yeah, we was all man, critical. But bonding
We
time.
need,
Bonding.
we needed that. It was
Wow.
years ago, so now we don't be held accountable for anything we broke. But it was, that was a real trip, man. And even why is his name escaping me right now, man? Pretty, Abney, Marquise,
yo.
Marquise was there, man. Yeah.
Yes, recipes, Marquise, bro. Oh man.
Yeah. Wow.
Byron,
Byron, yeah.
All of us, yo.
Married with kids now, like yo, it's so crazy to just see these little young dudes that had no weight. They were skinny and scrawny, and yo, they were grown men now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's beautiful to see, man. So beautiful.
But it was very critical, and I think, and that's also to say that in your program you deal with the freshmen in high school.
Yeah. So with Bronxwood Prep, we have 60 freshmen that we get to meet with throughout the year. And each week we meet with 30 of them, so we kind of alternate the weeks. And we are looking for other men that wouldn't mind coming in, in the mornings, checking in with them. Maybe, business owners, different people that just want to share things. I do want to have some real conversations around the treatment of women and see how we can just help to better prepare them for manhood, and let them know that they're not by themselves. So if it's something that men are interested in, I would love for them to be a part and come in and let's do the work. And then there's other people that's calling to do this work. I really, really, really do hope that anybody who would complain or would be upset about the things that's happening to our young men, like, let's stop just complaining. If you got 2 hours in your week to tell your job, hey, I'm going to be late on this day because I want to go pour into young people, I hope that they would take this opportunity.
Absolutely.
Amen. As soon as I reach back to New York, I told them I'm going to tap in with you. That's I'm definitely interested. So everyone, brotherhoodrestored.org. I pinned it in the comments. Tap in. Once again, I just want to say thank you, my brother. Thank you. We end our podcast on just with gratitude. So we just kind of say one thing that we're really grateful for. I want to say I'm grateful for this moment right now. I'm grateful for reconnecting. I'm grateful for you just being in my life as an inspiration when I was younger, but also as a grown man, still being a model for me that I can really tap in and see from afar, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And I appreciate being able to meet my new sister and connecting with you and my neighbor from the islands. So
we got together.
Right. So I'm grateful for that, and thank you for sharing, bro. I sincerely had no idea of your thoughts or anything, or that I had anything to do with your come up, man. So thank you for sharing that, man, and let's continue to pay it forward.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. I'm grateful for men like you. Like I mentioned earlier, I come from a single parent household. My mom, my siblings, and my grandparents. And my grandfather was my father figure. He was my everything. And just talk and much of him. So, and that safety and that security. So I'm really, really grateful for you and for the platform. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for all the tips you gave us. Like, you really, really, really spoke some stuff today. This was powerful. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Anytime. Please don't hesitate. I'll come back if ever you need.
Yeah. And shout out to everybody who pulled up to the chat. Shout out to everyone who saw this, whether live or on the replay. I appreciate everyone that's here. I see a lot of love. Shout out to y'all. I'm just want to real quick before I get out here, just wave to everyone real quick. We about to sign out. You want to say peace to Greg real quick?
Okay, no, I just want to wish. I just want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving, you and your family.
Yes.
Yes, happy, wonderful Thanksgiving to you and your family. For time for fellowship and love and togetherness. We're gonna have our first Thanksgiving without my mom. This is the first one, so we have nieces and nephews coming in from South Carolina. So I'm happy. I'm happy. Mom would have wanted it that way. But I want everybody to just enjoy your holiday. Brother Greg, I said it to you before, that invitation to come and visit us.
Pull up.
No.
Please.
I'm coming down for work. I have to be down there, and I got to fly into Atlanta in January. I promise you.
Please. We're 35 minutes away from the airport, but if you need us to come get you, we're coming to get you.
Okay.
We're coming to get you.
Yep, I promise you, either on the way home or on the way out there, I am coming through to say what's up. I bet you got frying turkey.
You know what? I'm so sorry, but we're really not.
Oh,
we're really not. I feel so bad about that. I feel bad about that. But
Don't feel
really
bad.
not. We are literally going old school with the turkey and shit.
Okay. So you still got some Northeast in you. That's what that is.
I do. We laughed about that on my job. Everybody's frying turkey. I'm like, sorry. Sorry, I'm not doing that. But I do want to say I remember that you and Tish were literally the first people we shared that we were moving to Georgia, that we already had the house. And we moved. We ran into you, and he said, this is what I want to tell. I was like, okay. Because, you know, he's private. I said, okay, we shared it with you. So I am happy that you were the perfect couple to share that our joy with. And congratulations on you guys in your lovely home as well. I see bits and pieces of it as well. So
I know we gotta leave it now too. So yeah, well yeah,
you gotta leave your home.
Last one. I'll call you on the side because
yeah. We're talking about that. Right.
I am so happy I brought Mom out on the pot.
You did.
I will be known for this. Yes.
Yo, history, my brother.
You did.
Yes. 6 episodes.
You did.
Awesome.
You did. Awesome. I literally rushed home. I rushed home. I got here minutes before the live came on. I said, I gotta get there. Gotta get there. But listen, much love to you again.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Thank you.
Oh, our dog is trying to say something to you. He wants to say hi.
Look, you bringing out all the family members.
The dog is on the show. Let's go.
Yo, you bringing out all the this love, my brother. look, I can't get him on here for nothing.
Keep going.
Oh man.
All right.
Tell your brother I said what's up, man, and I love him and all that. So thank y'all again.
Yo, shout out to the greatest co-host in history, Kelly Della.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't want to miss you. Honey, you're doing a wonderful job. You are doing a wonderful job. A wonderful job. Be encouraged. Stand strong. Keep moving forward. You are doing a wonderful job, and a happy Thanksgiving to you and your family as well.
Thank you. Likewise.
You're so welcome.
Yo, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Enjoy your holiday. Once again, my brother, it's all love. I appreciate I'm going to tap in when I get into New York. Any final words before we get out of here?
Keep being an example, y'all, and get every man this book, Cry Like a Man. I act like I wrote it, but get every man this book. This should be under every tree of every man. Please.
Tap in.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate you.
Yo, how far was that?
Dope.
How far was that?
Holidays, everyone. Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving with your loved ones. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you.
Dum, dum, dum.